about 40. Why do you think that is? My stock answer is usually, go fuck yourself.
What age were you when you got your first tattoo, sir?
22.
What was it? You don't need to show us.
Before the pandemic hit, I was feeling really stuck as a comedian. I was debating whether I should keep doing it. The last in-person show was in Montreal at the Comedy Nest. There's my set there. And then everything stopped. Diary entry, March 27th, 2020. The world has been really silent for a few weeks now. None of us ever thinking we'd be living through a plague or a pandemic like what COVID-19 is. But as silent as the world is, I'll just go over some quick little rules of Zoom, whether you've done one before or you're brand new to a Zoom room. If you have any background noise, if you've got to take a call, suddenly fight with the person in the room with you, go to the bathroom, just mute so that we don't make it a group activity. I didn't know what to expect going into a virtual landscape. But somehow I have taken Shakespeare's advice and made stages everywhere. He said all the world's a stage. He didn't envision this, I'm sure. I have done stand-up comedy here. When the day comes when your adult children help you move, for the love of God, please remember where you hid your porn first. This is my bathroom. Now, at the time, I lived in another apartment, but I made my debut at the Boston Comedy Festival in my bathroom. Yeah. KG recently had to get the heart checked out. Turns out I'm fine. Thankfully, all is well. But I do have to tell you, it felt so good to show someone my boobs. Yeah, I've been alone since March, so it was good to let the girls out, get some air. It's nice.
Do a birthday party comedy show next year when there's not a global pandemic. And I said, no, it better be over Zoom or I'm not coming. How did you hear about virtual shows, and which was the first one you did? I actually heard about them from you. You were really, really positive about them. And at the time, for some reason, I was like, I can't do anything right now. I just have to lie on the floor and eat cheese out of a bag. And then things I kind of got used to the fact that this was how I live now. And around May, I decided that maybe I could just try one virtual comedy, and decided I would do this one Canadian Zoom open mic, and that was sit down stand up comedy with Andy Wong. And it was the best time ever. And it was just so lovely. And I remember what was ironic is it was May of the first lockdown when we kind of thought things were going to get better. And I remember thinking in my little bed later that night, I really missed an opportunity here. I really missed an opportunity. And then the world was just hold my beer.
I like Desiree how our backgrounds kind of work together. I'm like the Kool-Aid man after I smash through your wall.
I am waiting for the Kool-Aid man.
Again, there's the accessibility stuff that Desiree talks about, and there's just the creation of communities with people from around the world that you wouldn't be able to see perform otherwise.
So the pollution was down, and we had this incredible spring. So it's out every day walking. There's a private school across the road from me, and we got permission from the headmistress to actually go walking in their grounds, which is just beautiful. So I saw my kids every day. I took them there for sports. It was just it was fab. Had a really good time. The meditations put me in a really great space. I was really happy. And I was also missing stand-up comedy. So I was trying to put on a Zoom show by hiring comedians. And one of the places that hires out comedians is called Laughing Horse, and they do a comedy course on Zoom. And I thought, I guess I could do a weekend course and then, a 5-minute slot on a Zoom show, and then I could make other people happy by making them laugh. You see? So this was the whole thing.
That is incredible.
Little did I know that I picked on the one thing that's, if it's anything sure to mess with your mental health, it's doing stand-up comedy.
I think all of you know this, but just in case, I am still disabled. That did not change with the pandemic. Yeah, I still use a wheelchair, very much so. I have been drinking the essential oils, but it hasn't been working.
I've seen performers perform from the trunks of their cars. I've seen that happen before, or like from the trunk of like an SUV. So it's not like, completely dark.
My coworkers, they're very cool, and they keep me calm and everything. So it's very nice. You have some weird people, like some weird customer came in. He was telling me, he said, "You heard the good news, right?" Now, the last time someone's like, "You heard the good news," I was like, "What?" It's like, "We killed that son bitch Bin Laden." So I was like, "Yo, this must be some crazy news." I'm like, "This about to be some crazy ass news." So he was like, "You heard the good news?" I'm trying to think like real fast in my head. I was like, "Nah, I ain't heard the good news." And he was like, "He's not mad at you anymore." I was like, "Huh?" He said, "Jesus is not mad at you anymore." And I was so confused, bro. I was like, "Yo, Jesus is mad at me?"
But it was amazing to go online and see the diversity of like all the different comedians. I tell this story a lot because I think it's hilarious. For the first 6 months of doing Zoom comedy, I started every show with, "Wow, there are women here." And then I had to stop because people were like, what is Toronto that this woman is excited that there are women here? But like that was something that was really neat about Zoom comedy, is there was often like women and people of color and like LGBTQ people and like what are straight white men. And like straight white men with hats, and we were all largely in the same rooms and all like largely respecting each other and just having a great time. And this is a bit of a hot take and controversial opinion, but that doesn't typically happen in like in-person stand-up rooms in Toronto. Like you can all fight me on that, but that's my opinion. And then in terms of meeting other disabled people, like that has been amazing too. Like typically there are not a lot of disabled comics in Toronto stand-up, and that's largely because and again, this is a bit of a hot take. Toronto is not very accessible. So like if you use a mobility device, it's very hard to kind of get in the spaces.
It has been a privilege and a delight to get to meet so many disabled comedians, especially the comics I've met who are in wheelchairs, because they are some of the funniest people I've met on Zoom are the people in wheelchairs, I have to say, because disabled people were pretty funny. We've had to be. I'm also going to talk about, I have multiple sclerosis, and it's an autoimmune disease, which means my body attacks itself, which also means that I'm just self-deprecating by factory setting. Talk about this a bit. So I did in 2020, I did over 1,000 mics, which would have been physically impossible to do if you were doing live sets. And the reason why this was possible is that if people who are watching this aren't familiar with stand-up, if you're going to do a live stand-up mic, you might be able to do 2 in a night, and maybe if you like really, really can time it, 3. So like that's 3 sets of practice. So if you think of this like any other sport or anything else you practice, think about it like reps. And so it's like you could get 3 reps in. Now on Zoom, you could literally, like I knew some people that did like 12 sets in a day. I didn't do that, but I would do 5 and 6 and sometimes 7 sets. And because of
we're
that,
going to do a pledge draw. Katie, would you like to know what you won't be getting if you donate today?
As ever, I do.
Amazing. So if you give to World Central Kitchen this evening, you will not be receiving this very tiny painting of a pizza.
Some of the feedback from my regulars in our meditation circle to the virtual shift, I heard some of the feedback from folks who just, it's not the same, and I really don't want to do it online. And for a couple of people, two that I'm thinking in particular, out of a circle of maybe we had 12 or 13 real regulars, and then a larger, maybe a cast of at least twice that who would kind of come and go. But of 12 real regulars, two, I don't think really engaged at all with the online practice.
But yeah, Cabin Fever, it was Chicago based. So that was like, the first one I did was based out of here. So I was doing comedy with almost everybody I already knew. I didn't really meet too many new people in those first few weeks. The first time I did it, it was awful. And I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this, but I'm going to keep doing it. And my partner at the time, who I'm not going to name him in the documentary, but he and I, we both did it, and we both were like, well, that was bad. That was horrible. How are we going to keep doing that? But then the second time I did it, it went way better because I had sort of adjusted to there's a slight delay in Zoom. You use your body very differently when you communicate jokes through Zoom than you do when you're on stage, much smaller. You use more small actions, as much with your face and your hands.
But we were talking the other day on Zoom, and he was saying, this is in person. This is in real life. And so he was trying to shift the use of language as people are coming back to events in physical spaces together. He's like, I want to reclaim what in person means.
I can see the authenticity of traditional stand up isn't there, but at the same time, does that matter? You're still getting I think one of the things that is often lost, and again, hot take alert, is the goal of stand-up comedy is to make others laugh and others feel good. So as long as you're doing that, you're technically doing stand-up comedy. You don't need a stool and bad lighting to make people happy. You don't. And I think that's what Zoom has proved is I don't need to be in a dark basement with a stool and 3 drunk people to make others happy. I can do it other places and in other ways.
I was in a city full of change and hope and shit. This was 2008. You got to understand. Yeah, in 2008 there was hope and change. I'm I'm going to help with this hope and change. I'm going to be a teacher. So obviously now I'm a bartender.
A really big one at the beginning of everything to try to go, okay, well, if this thing is going to continue, here's a way for me to work on comedy in a way that's both going to be productive and is going to give me a little bit of attention.
So far, but I can't smoke weed in my apartment though, because I don't want my neighbor to know that I've been buying from somebody else, right? And I stay away from edibles because those things take forever to kick in. I remember 2 months ago, my best friend gave me a pot brownie. That thing didn't hit me until just now. All right, that's all right. I'm about to do a bunch of edibles jokes. You guys won't understand any of them, and then in 15 minutes they'll all hit you at the same time.
Who was Lynn's son pre-pandemic? As a stand-up, Lynn's son was a lot less of a cunt. Can I cuss? Because I wasn't brave enough to just be that side of me. Right. So when I started stand up first, I was more jolly and more bubbly. If you watch my clip on Laugh Factory Instagram from 2019, you'll be like, who was that kindergarten teacher? You know what I mean? Even my outfit was I didn't know myself. My jokes were there, the punchlines were there, the delivery was there, everything. But I didn't know myself. My hair wasn't me. Like nothing was me, you know?
Wow.
I was so bubbly and I like that because there is that side of me where I was a cheerleader in high school. So I do have that kind of rawness, but that's not who I am as a stand-up. In my stand-up, I want to air out more my cunty side because where else will I do that? Yeah, everyone drink until I'm fuckable. Stand how cute Kelly is. Kelly, you're so pretty. Kelly's like one of those women that she tells people she's a comedian and they're like, but you're not funny looking. You know?
So yeah, my name's Ada. As you can see from the flag behind me, I am just a really good ally. And I'm just the straightest man ever, which is why I want to really, really be a girl. I'm kidding. My pronouns are she, they. She because I'm a woman, and they because I'm being generous.
Once again, I would mention the women, and these different voices of women are just so empowering. You never feel alone, because as a colored woman comic here in a very male dominated scene, it's not easy to even, people don't even understand what I'm talking about. I mean, when I'm talking about India, or I was not even being that authentic when I was doing comedy, live comedy here before pandemic. But this whole online comedy really, really inspired me to be authentic and bring out my own life story, bring out my Indianness, all the idiosyncrasies, all the anger, all the, things that I'm not happy about or happy about, to talk about.
A show host, recently called me the queen of dick jokes with much disdain. Yeah. Now, I don't understand what his problem is really, because I talk about issues I deeply care about, like my mom and dicks. So, instead of protesting, I thought I'm going to claim this title, but I'm going to need your help. So for the next few minutes that I'll try to entertain you guys, will you please count the number of dick jokes I crack? I mean, not the number of times I say the word dick, because you haven't even started counting, and I've already said it 4 times, all right?
Myself and my sister were twins and were disabled. And when we were very little, our mom took us to a doctor that effectively said we'd amount to nothing. And I think this made my parents really sad, but also very happy, because they didn't have to baby proof the house. Because why would you baby proof the house if you could flip your kids over like little baby turtles and go have a margarita and call it a day? But my sister proved them wrong and fell down the stairs. So my parents took her to the emergency room, and the doctor was like, lady, why don't you have a baby gate? And she said, well, a doctor from this hospital said my kids would amount to nothing and wouldn't move, so why would I spend $5 on a baby gate? And I think that's super funny, and I tried doing it in person for a very long time, and it just didn't work, because people would just get these horrified, sad looks on their faces. But on Zoom, it started to work, because A, I couldn't see their faces being horrified. B, I didn't know these people. And then another comedian was like, just maybe don't open with that and try to speed it up a bit. And it really did help.
Yeah, definitely.
That wouldn't have happened with Zoom. We wouldn't have known that my parents are slightly negligent without Zoom is what I'm trying to say.
And then in November 2020, I lost my dad and I went back home. And while I stayed there for a month, and I came back, and I was in institutionalized quarantine, because after coming back for 14 days, and I was absolutely, that's the time when I really got time to process my grief. I was angry with dad. I was sad, and I was stuck in one room. And then one of my friends in Saigon again told me that, why don't you do Lockdown Clowns by Comedy in Cambodia? Because you are in quarantine right now, and their whole show is about that. So he introduced me to this guy who runs this show, and I told him that, yeah, I'm actually stuck in lockdown. And he said, why don't you do the show then? And I did 2 of them back to back. And I actually wrote jokes about my dad, passing away. And it really helped me processing that whole thing. So it's really big.
I think that, virtual comedy also highlighted a lot of the issues that we didn't even realize were happening with live comedy. Like when you have live comedy, there's already so many filters built into that, whether you're somewhere that isn't as, physically accessible, or just the type of circumstance you have to be in to go to an open mic in person. That means that, you have to have the energy after your day job, which is like not a privilege that a lot of people have. And, you have to be able to drive to the club and afford that gas and afford, if the club has a 2-drink minimum or something like that. And then, it's sounds like a lot of small costs, but they do add up and they do create, additional barriers for people. So when we went into virtual comedy, yeah, I think that there was a huge thing in addition to just being able to hear more variety of voices for the typical reasons, like because we were able to connect internationally, you also got to hear from voices that, maybe there were barriers up in place that didn't allow them to have a voice. And now
maybe open people's eyes to like who comes into the space when it is accessible. So I'm hoping that others are like, oh, like we would actually like this. We would like more different people in the space. Cause like one of kind of the catch-22s of being disabled or using a mobility device is people are like, well, we don't see you in the community, so we don't need to make spaces accessible, but then you don't see me in the community because you don't make the space accessible. Like, I often get the thing like, well, it's just you and like maybe 1 or 2 other people, so it's really not worth it. And like it's just me because it's such a hard, like it's very inaccessible, so it's hard to break into. So, but if we made spaces accessible, like more people would come for sure. Did Dan freeze?
He did. Zoom bingo on your Zoom bingo card. Freezing the screen. But he looks so happy.
He does.
He really does.
We're heading back after our venue scout for our album, which is going to be recorded in June. Just stay. All right, let's do this. Look who it is! Oh my god!
And no one on the bus was having a good time, but I was having the best time. Because it was accessible. I just kept saying to Kelly, this is really nice, eh? That's like, usually when you see disabled people on film, they're doing an impressively good job at whatever they're doing. Not me.
I manifested this. You're like, if I do so many shows at Comedy Bar, I get a showcase.
Yeah, I actually did say.
Person, which is fucking insane.
But I always think that like that was the catalyst to get us here.
Yeah.
Because I don't think had that happened, we'd be here.
There's the assumption, you know, that we were the class clown. That wasn't me. No, I wore pantsuits as a child. You know, I wasn't so much the class clown, I was the class accountant. That's what I was.
Yeah, like, paralysis is permanent. It's not a skill I haven't acquired. Is it right, then left, or left, then right?
Stress is poor. All right, thank you so much for coming.
I want to win a gem. Yeah, the
Juno.
A Juno.
It's a Juno.
I want to win a Juno and also a Gemini. I think that is.
I don't think they do Geminis anymore.
Okay, well, I want to win a Juno and then a daytime Emmy.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know how.
I would like an MTV Movie Award.
I would. That'd be good.
Yeah, for Best Action Hero.
Yeah. Please, MTV, if you see this, please nominate me and Kelly for Best Action Hero.
Yeah.
For a comedy.
Yeah, because you almost got stabbed at a show.
Wait, I did almost get stabbed at a show.
And Desiree in the hallway. We are going to her show. Are you excited?
I am. You guys should come to our
New York City.